Stroads. A stroad is a mix of a street and a road, but it ends up doing neither job well. Streets are for local life, people walking, shopping, and connecting. Roads are for moving traffic quickly and efficiently. A stroad tries to serve both purposes with wide lanes, fast speeds, and frequent driveways. This design ruins daily life because it creates an unsafe and unpleasant environment. Drivers feel stressed with cars turning in and out constantly, while pedestrians and cyclists are left crossing multiple lanes of fast traffic. Businesses along stroads often fail too, since no one wants to stroll or shop next to noisy, high-speed traffic. On top of that, they cost cities a fortune in oversized pavement that doesn't perform well for anyone. The fix is clear. Decide whether the corridor should be a road or a street. If it's a road, limit access and design it only for moving cars between places. If it's a street, slow the traffic down, add safe crossings, and design it for people and businesses. Urban freeways. Urban freeways are large highways that run right through the middle of cities. They were built to carry lots of cars at high speeds, connecting suburbs and downtowns. But they ruin city life in several ways. Freeways slice neighborhoods apart, creating walls of noise, pollution, and danger that are nearly impossible to cross. Communities, once full of homes and businesses, were bulldozed to make way for them. And despite all that destruction, freeways don't even fix traffic. Adding lanes simply invites more drivers, a problem known as induced demand. In the end, congestion comes roaring back. People living near freeways also face higher risks of asthma, lung disease, and heart problems due to long-term exposure to pollution. The fix is tough but possible. Some cities are tearing down their downtown freeways and replacing them with boulevards, green parks, and public transit. Others are capping freeways with decks that reconnect neighborhoods above them. Slip lanes. Slip lanes, also called channelized right turns, are those extra little lanes at intersections that let cars turn without stopping. They ruin urban life because they encourage drivers to turn too fast. Instead of slowing down to look for pedestrians, drivers are often watching only to their left, searching for a gap in traffic. That means they may never see the person walking right in front of them. Slip lanes also make intersections larger, which adds confusion and more risk for people on bikes and on foot. The fix is simple. Remove slip lanes wherever people walk. Intersections should be compact, with tighter turning corners that naturally force drivers to slow down. Where space is needed for large vehicles like buses or fire trucks, engineers can design smaller, effective curb radii with mountable curbs. Large curb radii. Large curb radii are wide, sweeping corners at intersections that make it easy for cars to turn without slowing much. They ruin life because faster turns mean more danger for people crossing the street. Pedestrians suddenly face longer distances to cross, and drivers have less time to react. The very spot where people and cars meet, the intersection, becomes a zone of stress and crashes. Large corners also eat up space that could be sidewalks, trees, or bike lanes, replacing it with dead pavement. The fix is straightforward. Shrink curb radii so cars are forced to slow down when turning. This shortens crosswalks, improves visibility, and reminds drivers they're entering a place for people, not racing onto a highway ramp. Cities also use curb extensions, sometimes called bulb outs, which push sidewalks into the intersection to shorten crossing distances even more. Parking minimums. Parking minimums are rules in zoning codes that require every building to have a certain number of parking spaces no matter what. They ruin life in multiple ways. For one, parking isn't free. Building lots or garages is extremely expensive, and that cost gets passed into higher rents, home prices, and product costs. Parking minimums also force developments to spread out, creating seas of empty asphalt that push everything farther apart. That means more driving for every errand, more congestion, and more pollution. They also kill walkability and vibrancy. Instead of storefronts, you see empty lots. Instead of housing, you get concrete. The fix is to eliminate or reduce parking minimums. Let builders decide how much parking is actually needed based on demand. In many cities, especially near transit or downtown, fewer spaces work just fine. Cul-de-sacs. A cul-de-sac is a dead-end street, usually in suburban neighborhoods. While they look peaceful, they ruin city life at scale. Cul-de-sacs disconnect neighborhoods. To reach a store or school just a few hundred yards away, you may need to drive a mile in circles. This design forces car dependency, puts more traffic on a few big roads, and makes walking or biking frustrating. Studies also show that cul-de-sac networks often have more severe crashes since they funnel cars into fewer, faster arterials. The supposed quiet safety of cul-de-sacs actually makes the entire city less safe and less efficient. The fix is to create connected street networks. Short blocks with many intersections let people walk, bike, or drive directly where they need to go. Even existing cul-de-sacs can sometimes be retrofitted with small pedestrian or bike paths connecting them to nearby streets. Drive-throughs. Drive-throughs are those service lanes at banks, coffee shops, and fast food chains where cars pull up without parking. They ruin life because every drive-through adds multiple curb cuts across sidewalks, turning movements, and long queues of idling cars. This creates danger for people walking, biking, or even driving past. The constant stopping and starting adds noise, pollution, and wasted fuel. Entire streets lined with drive-throughs become ugly, hostile corridors that prioritize cars over people. The fix isn't banning drive-throughs completely, but designing them responsibly. That means limiting the number of driveways, keeping queues on site instead of spilling into streets, and adding walk-up or bike-up windows so customers without cars are welcome. Pedestrian overpasses. Pedestrian overpasses are bridges that send walkers above busy roads instead of letting them cross at street level. They ruin life because they make walking harder. People are forced to climb stairs or ramps, walk over a bridge, then come back down just to cross a street. Many ignore them entirely, choosing the riskier direct route. Overpasses also take pedestrians out of natural street life, making them feel isolated and unsafe. They cost a lot to build but don't solve the real problem: cars driving too fast on oversized roads. The fix is to design safe, at-grade crossings. That means narrower roads, shorter crossing distances, better signals, and slower vehicle speeds. When streets are designed for people, you don't need to send them over bridges. Sidewalk gaps. Sidewalk gaps are places where a sidewalk suddenly ends, forcing people to walk on grass, dirt, or worse, the roadway itself. They ruin life because they make walking stressful, unsafe, and sometimes impossible. Parents with strollers, seniors with walkers, or kids heading to school are forced into traffic. Even one missing link can cut people off from the places they need most, like a bus stop or store. National safety studies show that continuous sidewalks can reduce walking along the roadway crashes by up to 88%. Without them, entire communities feel disconnected. The fix is simple. Build continuous sidewalks on both sides of the street, connecting homes, schools, parks, and shops. The material doesn't have to be fancy. What matters is safety and connectivity.